Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and welcome to the Sunshine Cup. This is a brand new 1500 CP cup in Go Battle League, where normal, fire, grass, and ground type Pokemon are allowed, and Charizard has been banned. And in this format, Tackle MUNCHLAX is an exceedingly powerful pick. Adding Tackle instead of Lick allows MUNCHLAX to be incredibly neutral into most anything you'll encounter in the meta, especially the normal types. So without further ado, let's up for the matches and check out some practice Sunshine Cup battles using Tackle MUNCHLAX. Hopping to the first match, picking up a negative lead Noctowl into Dunsparce. I'm going to stay in this matchup to start, but I will look to try and catch a Rock Slide onto Vigoroth. So I farm up, go for the catch onto Vigoroth, but my opponent is going to bank a ton of energy and send in Jumpluff. Now Jumpluff is going to resist the counter from Vigoroth, but Vigoroth up energy is just incredibly deadly in this format. They do need 2 charge moves to KO, so they are going to go for the slightly cheaper Energy Ball, but Vigoroth is able to farm up, make it to back-to-back body slams, and now I can either make a play for switch or grab shields. I'm able to fire off the back-to-back body slams. Jumpluff has to shield here if they want to keep switch, and they do, so they will commit the shield, and at this point, I'm more than happy with shield advantage, so I'm actually just going to let this through, and then send in Noctowl. Noctowl, I'm just going to go for the 1 shield farm down here, as Jumpluff does hit quite hard. This Jumpluff is running Dazzling Gleam, so I am very happy that I shielded. In comes the Dunsparce, and I'm able to make a catch, catching the Rock Slide onto my MUNCHLAX. In the back, the opponent has Pidgeot, and matchups like these are why Tackle is needed on MUNCHLAX in this format. As you can see, Lick would be double resisted going up against Pidgeot, so Pidgeot would take absolutely no fast move damage, where thanks to Tackle, Tackle is able to hit for neutral, and it honestly does quite a bit of damage since it does get same type attack bonus. Unfortunately, I did accidentally play into the CMP tie on the first body slam, so they were able to debuff me before I got any damage. That definitely was a misplay on my part. I'm going to commit the shield and look for the farm down. MUNCHLAX gets the farm down. I need to switch out, farm up, switch into the Noctowl. Was this a catch of a drill run? Yes, it was, and with that catch, I think this game, somehow against all odds, is actually winnable. I fire off Sky Attack number 1, I'm going for Sky Attack number 2, looking to put pressure onto the Dunsparce here. That is going to grab the final shield, farming up with the Noctowl. Noctowl able to make it to a 3rd Sky Attack. Sky Attack takes down the Dunsparce, and that is a good game. We see a fairly neutral lead in the next match, Noctowl into Vigoroth. I'm going to stay in this matchup to start, as I don't really want the Vigoroth to go up against my MUNCHLAX in the back. Vigoroth is going to strike first, going for the body slam, and I'm going to farm up and return fire with the Sky Attack. Sky Attack will not be lethal, but it will get some solid chip damage, so I'm able to grab a shield. I farm up, and we see a simultaneous switch, my Vigoroth into their Noctowl. As you can see, normal types are incredibly good in this meta, so you're probably going to see a lot of Vigoroth, a lot of Noctowl, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Tackle MUNCHLAX as well. Body Slam is going to connect, farm it up with the Vigoroth, playing to the CMP tie. I'm hoping that this Body Slam is going to be enough, but the Noctowl with 1 HP, able to hang on and make the last second Sky Attack. I'm just going to let this go, as unfortunately, was not quite able to get the KO before they reached their move. In comes Vigoroth, I'm firing off the Sky Attack. Sky Attack will be no-shielded by the Vigoroth. I continue to farm with the Noctowl. This is going to be close. If I live this, I think I can make the Sky Attack, but it KOs, and now it's up to MUNCHLAX. And again, this is another situation where having Tackle is so much better than Lick. With Tackle, I can actually farm down. MUNCHLAX gets the Tackle down. In the back, it's Shadow Swampert. And the fast move pressure here from Tackle, plus the Body Slam spam, I think I can win this game. Body Slam is going to connect. Shadow Swampert continuing to farm. MUNCHLAX makes it to Body Slam number 2. This will be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. Swampert has so much energy, and they're going to start using it here. I commit the first shield with the MUNCHLAX. Continue to farm. MUNCHLAX makes it to the Body Slam before they can get 2 more Hydros. Body Slam KOs the Swampert and secures the win. Picking up a neutral lead in the next match, Noctowl into Shadow Kanto Ninetales. This Kanto Ninetales is running Ember, the legacy fast move, so it will do more fast move pressure compared to Fire Spin. Weather Ball will connect. I'm going to save the energy, save switch into Vigoroth. Vigoroth will be met with a Weather Ball, and I like to commit a shield here. Vigoroth, when it has energy and a lot of health, is just so good. My opponent is going to respond with their own Noctowl, and I'm just going to start launching Body Slams at the Noctowl, going for Body Slam number 1, farming up. My opponent makes it to the Sky Attack, but Sky Attack is not going to KO. I committed a shield earlier, so now I can make it to the back-to-back Body Slams and look to put pressure on my opponent. This Body Slam is going to be shielded, farming up, going for another Body Slam, and again, unfortunately, I don't think this is quite going to KO, so I switch into my own Noctowl and successfully get the snipe. They're going to send back in the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, but I've gotten it into a range where a Sky Attack will be lethal. Sky Attack gets the KO in the back, opponent has their own Vigoroth, and I'm firing off the Sky Attack. Sky Attack will get some nice chip damage, opponent lets the first one through, and honestly, from here, this is a range where I can tackle down with MUNCHLAX. Again, the fast move pressure from tackle not being resisted by all the normal types is incredibly nice, as Vigoroth's health is going down pretty quickly here. They're going to fire off the Body Slam, MUNCHLAX able to tank it, MUNCHLAX farms down the Vigoroth, and that is a good game. We see a neutral lead again in the next match, Noctowl into Obstagoon. I'm going to stay in this matchup to start, as I do want to get some chip damage before I eventually save switch out of here. Obstagoon is going to fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash gets no shielded, but they get the boost. Oh my goodness, this is not good. I'm going to switch into the Vigoroth, basically just to try and force them to switch out, as I'm doing double super effective damage with my counters, but the unfortunate thing is that they can force shields back since they're boosted. I go for the Body Slam, and my opponent makes a beautiful catch, catching the Body Slam onto Trevenant. Now, Trevenant is allowed in this meta, but it is a bit of a risky bring, as there are so many normal types. Trevenant is going to fire off the Seed Bomb on the CMP tie to the Bulldoze, great counting by my opponent. I'm going to fire off the Body Slam here. The good news is I was able to bait out the Ghost type, so that way MUNCHLAX will not have to see it in the endgame, since I am running Tackle as my fast move. I send in Noctowl. They do have a lot of energy here on the Trevenant. Trevenant goes for the Seed Bomb. I go for the Sky Attack, but I lose CMP. That is not great. Trevenant goes for the Seed Bomb. Noctowl barely able to hang on. Fire off the Sky Attack, and I need MUNCHLAX to close out this game for me. In comes MUNCHLAX. It's the Noctowl in the back. MUNCHLAX farming up. Noctowl is going to fire off the Sky Attack. Sky Attack connects. Noctowl continuing to farm. In comes the Good, and I don't react fast enough to click my Body Slam. And that's basically just going to be game over. That's quite unfortunate there. I can Body Slam now, but the damage has been done. The Cross Chop connected. Obstagoon is going to get to counter down the rest of my team. And that's game over. We see a cool pick on the lead in the next match, Noctowl going up against Oranguru. My opponent is going to save switch into Vigoroth, and I'm going to stay in with the Noctowl and fire off the Sky Attack. I don't really need switch advantage, because the nice thing is my entire team can do pretty well versus Oranguru. I'm going to stay in with the Noctowl, wait for them to throw a Body Slam, and then I should be good to bring in my own Vigoroth. I'm looking for the counter down. Opponent is going to fire off a charge move. I'm going to no-shield this, and then just counter down and leave with energy so I can threaten whatever my opponent decides to send in. Is it the Oranguru? It is. In comes the Oranguru. I'm firing off the Body Slam. Body Slam is going to get some solid chip damage. Continuing to farm up with the Vigoroth, able to make it to a last-second Body Slam number 2. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded by the bulky Oranguru. And now I have an interesting choice. Do I send in the MUNCHLAX or the Noctowl? I decide to send in the Noctowl. Noctowl able to make it to the Sky Attack, putting pressure on a shield from the Oranguru. Oranguru commits the shield. Little bit of lag there. Opponent is going to be firing off a charge move, and I decide to commit the shield. I don't know what they have in the back yet. I send in MUNCHLAX, looking for the snipe, and it's a Shadow Gliscor in the back. Farming up, going for the Body Slam. As you can see, these tackles are tearing through Gliscor's HP. Gliscor will commit the shield. It's a tough call. Do they full send? I commit the shield. It's the Earthquake, and that is a game-winning shield right there, as MUNCHLAX will be able to fire off the Body Slam. No shields remaining for the Gliscor. Gliscor gets tackled down, and so does the Oranguru. We see mirror leads in the next match, Noctowl versus Noctowl. I will probably want to switch out of this matchup eventually to check and see if they have any kind of a counter user in the back. We both farm up to 8, and unfortunately my Noctowl is going to lose CMP here. Sky Attack will connect. I'm going to fire back with a Sky Attack of my own, and then look to save switch into my Vigoroth. Sky Attack will connect. I'm going to send in my Vigoroth. Vigoroth farming up, and will be met with a Sky Attack from the Noctowl. I will commit the shield, as I want to try and keep my Vigoroth healthy. My opponent is going to send out a Swampert. Swampert will be met with a ton of energy from the Vigoroth. Vigoroth going for Body Slam number 1, grabbing a shield from the Swampert, and now going for Body Slam number 2. My opponent only had to shield 1, so they are going to let that through. Vigoroth continues to farm. I'm going to let the first charge move through. Swampert goes to the Hydro Cannon. They'll need to go for Hydro Cannon number 2 to ensure that they can get rid of the Vigoroth. So I am just going to let the Vigoroth go and send in Noctowl. Noctowl is going to be able to outpace the Swampert, make it to the Sky Attack, and Sky Attack will KO the Swampert. Opponent sends in their third, which is Galarian Stunfisk, and this is not what I was hoping to see. I'm farming up a ton of energy with the Munchlax. Opponent sends in Noctowl, and these tackles, honestly, I can just tank the move and fully tackle down and leave with a lot of energy to potentially threaten the Stunfisk. So I leave with so much energy here. I'm going for the Bulldoze right away as the opponent sends back in the Stunfisk. Bulldoze is going to connect, and now that is Shadow Ball range, which is quite nice. My opponent will go for the Rock Slide. I commit the shield, farming up with the Munchlax, but I lost count. My opponent makes it to a move. It's the Earthquake, and that KOs. And now I have to hope that Noctowl can somehow, against all odds, clutch this game. My opponent will fire off the Rock Slide. They should just about be Sky Attack range. Can I survive the Mud Shots? Making it to the back-to-back Sky Attacks here. Going for Sky Attack number 1. It gets shielded, but the Mud Shot KOs. We see a tough lead in the next match, Noctowl into Magcargo. I'm checking the fast move. It's Rock Throw, save switch into Munchlax, and my opponent responds with a Whimsicott. This matchup is very flippable for Munchlax. Munchlax will be hit with the Moonblast from the Whimsicott. Thankfully, we do not see an attack drop. I farm up. I'm at the back-to-back Body Slams, going for Body Slam number 1, and now going for Body Slam number 2. This Body Slam will be lethal. This isn't time for the opponent. They're going to commit the shield, farming up with the Munchlax. Munchlax will be hit with a charge move here. I will commit the shield, throw 1 tackle, and then go for the Body Slam. This way, if my opponent wants switch, they have to commit both shields. My opponent is going to let that through, and now they send in Magcargo. Magcargo will get the farm down as I'm not able to make a Bulldoze. Body Slam is resisted, but any chip damage is good. And now I can send in Vigoroth. Vigoroth, these counters shredding through Magcargo. Magcargo fires off a charge move. It's the Overheat. In the back, they have Shadow Swampert, and I'm going to be firing off a Body Slam here, getting some chip damage. Opponent lets that through. I send in Noctowl, and suddenly I see a potential win con. If I can farm down here, I think I have a chance to win. This is going to be very tough, though. Farming up with the Noctowl. They're going for another Hydro Cannon. I commit my final shield. I am fully committing to the farm down. Noctowl looking for the farm down. Gets the farm down. Back in comes Magcargo. But Magcargo is going to be met with a Shadow Ball from the Noctowl. Shadow Ball is going to get the shield. Magcargo looking for the farm down. But Noctowl makes another Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to get Magcargo low. Magcargo gets the farm down. It's a race. Vigoroth with 1 HP secures the win. Hopping into the final match, picking up a slightly negative lead, Noctowl into Galarian Stunfisk. I am going to send in the Munchlax. Opponent responds with a Dugtrio. Oh my goodness, the spice. But unfortunately for the Dugtrio, the bulk of Munchlax and the fast move pressure of Tackle is just way too much to overcome in this matchup, as I've landed a Body Slam and the tackles already basically have it KO'd. I can tank a Stone Edge, farm down, and with switch advantage, I'm in a much better spot here. My opponent is able to make it to the Rock Slide onto the Munchlax. That will not KO. Munchlax able to hang on and make it to the Bulldoze. Bulldoze will hit for super effective damage. It's not the greatest move in the world, but every damage helps. And now I can send in the Vigoroth. Vigoroth will be hit with a charge move. It's the Earthquake from the Stunfisk. In the back, opponent has Hisuian Electrode. Oh my goodness, this is not what my Noctowl was hoping to see. But I still have the Vigoroth, and the Vigoroth can apply so much pressure onto the Electrode. Electrode looking to try and farm down the Vigoroth, but that's easier said than done. Body Slam number 1 gets the shield and make it into Body Slam number 2. This will be forcing the final shield from the opponent. Opponent does get the farm down, but I can send in Noctowl, and Noctowl can tank a Wild Charge from full, so I let this through. Wild Charge deals massive damage. Back in comes the Stunfisk. Stunfisk will lose CMP to the Noctowl, as Noctowl Sky Attack takes down the Stunfisk, and that is a good game. All in all, the Sunshine Cup meta definitely does look like an interesting one. While it looks like it may be a condensed meta where we see a lot of the same Pokemon repeatedly, honestly, considering that these Pokemon all have pretty neutral matchups into each other, I genuinely don't think that's a bad idea. This feels like a meta where it'll be less defined on alignment and more defined in terms of like energy advantage or shield advantage being able to flip matchups and flip games. So in that regard, I'm quite excited for it, as it feels like a meta where it'll be less about getting hard countered and more about just being able to finesse and outplay opponents. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.